Drop a like and do share. Leave your comments and do not forget to subscribe for more videos.
Welcome back to Edupedia World Videos. Thanks for joining me in Lesson 8 of Common Verbs. So previously you have learned about numbers and also some basic objects. Now you need to know about verbs, because verbs is about actions. So from this lesson, you will learn some common verbs, common actions that you will use when you are communicating with Mandarin native speaker. Okay? So let's get started. Okay, so the first sentence I want to introduce you is I'm learning Chinese, because that's how you can open up the conversation with Mandarin speaker. You can tell them you're learning Chinese and you wish to learn from them. Okay? So I'm learning Chinese. In Mandarin, it is 我在学中文. Okay? So there are a few new words. For example, 学 here, it means learn. And 中, previously you have known this word as middle, because when you are saying noon, it is 中午. So this is the same word, but in this context, it is related to China, Chinese. Okay, and 文 is text. So 中文 is like Chinese language. Okay, and if you can remember, 在 is to indicate that the verb is continuous. So this is just a reminder for you. So in this example, I'm saying I am learning Chinese. So which means the action is continuous. So I use 在 in my Chinese sentence. Okay? So 学 means learn. This is a pinyin, and the radical is what at the bottom here. Arrangement is vertical because you have top and bottom component. Okay, here's how I write 学. And since you have learned 1 to 10, I will count in Chinese instead, so you'll be more familiar with numbers. Okay? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay? So this is 学. It has 8 strokes. The next one is 文. It means text, as I said, but it also can be interpreted as language in general. Okay? And this is the pinyin 文. So radical is this one, is itself, and the arrangement is simple because it just stands on its own. Okay, here's how I write 文. 1 2 3 4 文. Next one. Okay, so sometimes you just need someone who can speak English to help you. So this is what you can say. Do you speak English? 你会说英语吗? Okay, so there are quite a number of new words here, so I will explain it one by one. So 会 means no, or it can be interpreted as can. This sentence can be like, can you speak English? Okay, this is the pinyin, and this is the radical, what's on top here. The arrangement is vertical because you have the top as radical and the bottom component here. Okay, this is how I write 会。1、2、3、4、5、6，会。Okay, the next one is speak, 说。This is the pinyin, and the radical is what's at the left there. So if you can remember, this radical is used as thank you and also please. So now this word indicates speech, so this radical is used as usual. Okay, the arrangement is horizontal, okay, because you have left and right component here. And this is how I write 说。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9。Okay, 说。Okay, so there are only 2 new words left for this Mandarin sentence. So 音 is English, and of course it has the other meaning, but because 音 it sounds like the beginning of English, so this word is used to indicate English or England. Okay, so this is a pinyin, and the radical is what's on top here. The arrangement is vertical. As you can see, the top component is the radical and the bottom one is another component. Okay, so here's how I write 音。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8，音。Okay, here the last new word is 语, which means language. Okay, so this 语 is more to like spoken language. Okay, so this is the pinyin. Again, the radical is the same as the word speak because this indicates speech, so you have this radical. And the arrangement is horizontal with left and right component. This is how I write 语。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9，语。And as you can see from this sentence, it is a question. Specifically, it's a yes and no question. Okay, so as usual, we can have 2 ways of asking this yes or no question. So one is to add ma at the end, and the other one is to ask 你会不会说英语? Okay, that makes sense as well. So just make the verb, which is 会, into 会不会. Then it becomes a yes and no question. Okay, next. He can understand a little Mandarin. 他会听一点点普通话. Okay, the reason that I want you to know this sentence is that you can say you can understand a little Mandarin, just change the subject, then you can get the sentence you want to express. And of course, there are quite a few new words here, so let's go through it one by one. So the first 2 words you have learned before. Specifically, the second word you have learned just now. And then the third one is 听, which means hear or listen. So this is the pinyin, and the radical is what's on the left, and the arrangement is horizontal. Okay, so here's how I write 听. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7. Okay, 7 strokes for this one. The next one is 1. So you have learned this word before. This is one of the numbers. Hope you still remember. And 点 means bit. Okay, like 一点, it can mean a bit. Okay, so this is pinyin, and then the radical is the 4 dots below. The arrangement is vertical. As you can see, the top part is a component, the bottom part is the radical. Okay, so here's how to write 点. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9点. Okay, the next one is 普通话. So 普通话 means Mandarin. Okay, so 普, it has its own meaning, but I'm not gonna write anything here because the meaning changes in different context. So I'm not putting anything here to confuse you. Okay, the radical is this one, what's at the bottom here, and the arrangement is obviously vertical because you have a top component and the bottom component as the radical. Okay, so here's how I write 普. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10、11、12. Okay, this is 普. The next word is 通. So again, like 普, it doesn't really have a meaning on its own, except you combine it with other words. Okay, so I'm not putting any meaning here. This is the pinyin, and the radical is what's on the bottom left corner. So the arrangement is enclosure because the radical is wrapping up the bottom left corner. Okay, so here's how I write 通. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10. Okay, so this is 通. Okay, the last one is 话. Okay, 话 is like words, but it's more to spoken words. Okay, so this is the pinyin, and the radical is again the radical related to speech acts, and the arrangement is horizontal. Okay, so here's how I write 话. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8. Okay, 话. So again, 他会听一点点普通话 means he can understand a little bit of Mandarin. Okay, so that understands is related to the ability of listening. Okay, he can understand through listening. He can understand a bit about spoken Mandarin. Okay. Next, okay, this would be the last sentence you're gonna learn today. So I just want to show you a few verbs here, which is want and eat. So the example sentence I have here is she wants to eat pineapples. 她想吃凤梨. Okay, of course you learn how to say pineapples and she. So the only thing left is want, 想, and eat, 吃. Okay, so 想 means think and want, and of course I know you know another word of want, which is 要. Okay, 要 is more like you are insisting that you want that thing, but 想 is more like thinking of wanting something. Okay, so you are thinking of wanting this thing, but you're okay if what you want is not fulfilled. That kind of degree of wanting. Okay, so you can say that 想 is a softer version of 要. Okay, so as I'm writing here, 想 can mean think or want, and this is the pinyin, and the radical is what's at the bottom. And the arrangement is complex. As you can see, the radical is at the bottom, and for the top part it has left and right component, so it is complex. So this is how I write 想. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 想. Okay? Okay. The last word of the day is 吃. Okay? 吃 means eat. And the radical involves this mouth-like word here. As you can see, 吃 involves mouth. So use this radical here. The arrangement is horizontal. As you can see, it has left and right component. Okay, so here's how I write 吃. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, one stroke for the final stroke. Okay, so here's the summary of our lesson today. You have learned all these Chinese words in this lesson, and you can translate all these words in English. So you have learned how to say learn, know, speak, and etc. All the actions or verbs, and also the 3 languages, like how to say Chinese, English, and Mandarin. Okay, next up there will be more verbs, because obviously the verbs that you have learned is not enough. There will be more in the future. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. 谢谢，再见。